Hi everyone, it's Kamila. I hope you're all having a great day. If you're new here on the channel, you mostly do speed build, my second build with the new pack Snowy Escape. Now, as you can see in the game, the title of the build is Japanese Pagoda, but I didn't go with that because it's a religious thing, so I didn't want to go into that because I don't know enough. But I still wanted to be inspired by the architectural design of pagodas and Japan. So that's why the build is called like that at first. But after that, I did some research and I found out it was more religious than anything else. So I decided not to do that and I turned it into a sanctuary. But as always, for my builds that are more inspired from some regions in the world, I searched for some inspiration pictures, and when I did the research, I wrote Japanese pagoda. So that's why the build is called like that for now, but don't worry, that's not what I did. I will put the inspiration pictures that I got on the screen so you will see kind of what I was going for. I really wanted to have something that would be on the water and I wanted multiple islands like that. The idea at first was basically what we have now, a big building at the middle, at the center of the build, and then 6 other islands that would be around it. But then I didn't really like the result. And by the way, I started the build before getting the pack, just like my Japanese restaurant that was my last video. So we are building in Willow Creek right now, and I didn't have any objects from Snowy Escape. But I still wanted to start the build before getting the pack, so I would have the shape, the roofing, and also a big part of the landscaping because it took super long. There's a lot of rocks in this build, so I think I probably spent at least an hour placing all these rocks. There's rocks in the water and over the water, so it was a lot of work. But yeah, I didn't really like the result, and at first I was on a 50 by 50, and then I moved to a 64 by 64 because when I got the pack I tested what the build would look like in Mount Komorebi, but I didn't really like the look of it, so I just decided to go on a 64 by 64 because anyway I don't think it makes a really big difference to have it in Mount Komorebi, and you don't have a 64 by 64 in the New World. I'm sorry if you wanted to place it there, but I just couldn't do the build that I wanted on a 50 by 50, and you will see why later on. But I added a ton of other buildings behind what we have right now, but I also removed 2 of the islands that we can see at the moment. So yeah, I ended up having a very different thing than what I thought. The build is really bigger than what I wanted, but I do that pretty often, to be honest. Whenever I have a medium-sized project that is on a 50 by 50 or a 40 by 30, I always end up expanding the build, and I feel like sometimes I just don't like medium-sized builds. I don't know why, but it just feels better for me to have a very big one or a smaller. I don't know, but anyway, in the end, I'm really happy that I decided to do a bigger one, even if I didn't have that much time because I wanted to have this video ready yesterday, but I wasn't able to. But I prefer to have a build that I'm really proud of and to get it out a little later than just having a build that I don't really like. And as you can see right now, we switched to the 64 by 64, and I did cut a lot of the process. I didn't show all the footage of me placing the rocks behind the build, and I didn't show either the whole part of the roofing of the big buildings at the back because I already did a very similar roofing on the other buildings that are at the front and on the water. So it just felt a little bit repetitive to me, and I didn't want the video to be too long, so that's what I decided to do. And at first I knew what I wanted the shape of the build to look like and the build what I wanted it to look like, but I just didn't know what I wanted in it. I was like, maybe it's cooler if I do residential, but it just didn't feel right to me, so I didn't do residential, so at first I was thinking maybe just a park that people can go to, and also maybe I would put the lot type to museum, so it would be like a monument that people can go and visit if they want. But then when I was starting the interior, I got the idea to do a park and a kind of a spa, but it's kind of a yoga retreat in a way that you can go some days when you want. So you can visit this and, just walk on the little bridges, go in the little forest, and just explore the nature that is around the sanctuary. But you can also enter it and go do some yoga. There's also some massage tables and a lot of things that I will talk about a little more later. But yeah, I'm really happy with the result, and I'm also glad that I decided to do a spa. I think it fits really well the aesthetic of the build, and you will see the interior later on, and I hope you will like it. But I decided to go with a color scheme that is a bit intense in my opinion, and that I don't really do often. But in one of the inspiration pictures that I saw, the buildings were with some green roofing and a lot of red and some yellow accents. So I really wanted to do that. I thought it looked great and it would be good with the green trees and the red trees too. But I also had an inspiration pictures with a lot of pink trees. But following the pictures, I thought was a great idea because I really like the result. I think it's very cool, even if it's not something that I do very often and that I would do very often either. But I feel like it just adds a lot to the architectural style that I went for. And yeah, so in this build we have a bathroom. So it's the building that is at the right, I think. Yeah, I didn't use the Discover University bathrooms. I didn't feel like it was fitting the aesthetic, so I just did some little rooms to place the toilets, and I feel like it looked better that way. And then in the building at the middle we have a big entry with some lockers, because I thought that people could maybe change themselves and place their clothes there, and just maybe place some objects that they don't necessarily want to bring with them in a yoga room or anything. And other than that, we have the yoga room. As I said, we have some rooms where there is massage tables, and there's also a small cafeteria. I thought it was a good idea to include that. So there's picnic tables and some vending machines. I thought it was cool to use them in the build since we just got them. And other than that, in the big building, there's not that much. There's a lot of areas where you can sit and relax, because it's kind of the goal of going there in the sanctuary. And then the middle building is more of a place where you can just sit and have a break if you walked a lot. And there's a fireplace, some seating areas, and it's just a very relaxing place. And there's also a very high observation place that I built at the left of the build. I really like it. I think it's a nice touch, and it was also in the inspiration picture that I found on internet, so I thought it was cool to add that, and I think it adds a lot to the build. I also built this in Windenburg, so the view is stunning in this lot. You have the ocean and it looks super great. I placed a lot of candles in the build. I just feel like candles are making a build more relaxed, and yeah, I don't know why I placed that much, but I hope you will like it. And I also checked how the light was looking at night. I felt like it looked good, and since the build is open, the lighting is not necessarily like other builds, but I hope it won't bother you. If it does, just close the rooms and it will help. But I really wanted it to be open. I thought that people could meditate and just look at the beautiful nature around them, because I feel like being in this place, and it looks like a little paradise. I feel like I would be very relaxed and yeah, just feel better if I would go there. I don't know about you, but I feel like the big lake is very beautiful and there's a lot of trees and all the nature around can really make someone less stressed, in my opinion. So I thought like it was a good idea to make everything open. The massage rooms and the yoga room are more closed, but other than that, everything is pretty much open. And of course, the toilets are closed too. But yeah, I don't have that much to say about this build. I hope I will have some other ideas because I don't want to cut the voiceover right now since the video is a little longer than the ones before. But anyway, the next builds that I want to do with the pack are a kind of a street with some stores and maybe a cafe. I don't really know yet what it will be, but it's something that I've been asked to do on Instagram, and it's also an idea that I really wanted to do. I did something similar when Eco Lifestyle came out. I had a build that was called Evergreen Harbor Industrial Street, and it was 4 or 5 stores, I think, with a little apartment in a container that I built. So I would like to do something similar but in the Japanese style. So that's probably going to be the next build that I'm doing. But I was also thinking of doing a family home because I never did one for now with the new pack, and it will probably be part of my save file if I do so. And I know I said I will do the first 2 worlds first for my save file, so I wanted to work on Oasis Springs and Willow Creek first, and I still think I will do that. It's just because right now this pack is new, so I still want to explore it, and I thought why not doing some builds that will go in my save file. It's kind of the perfect opportunity, so I don't really count it as cheating. I hope it won't bother you. And then I also got asked to renovate the Japanese mansion that I did some months ago. It wasn't my priority. I really wanted to explore the back with some builds that I would do right now. So completely new builds. I hope it won't bother any of you. I don't think so because I already said that it will be the last thing that I will do with this pack probably. But just wanted to say it again in case some people didn't see that. So that's pretty much my plan for the next week or so. And yeah, I just wanted to say it last. Thank you so much for the response on my last video. I was really surprised with all the comments, the views, and the likes. It was really impressive for me, so I'm super happy that I have your support, and our little family, YouTube family, is growing every day, so I'm super happy about that because content creation is something that I really love. And it's one of the most important things in my life right now. It's kind of the thing that makes me want to wake up in the morning. So I just really wanted to say thank you so much. So yeah, I just really wanted to say that I really appreciate the support, and that's pretty much all I had to say for today. So I hope you will enjoy the rest of the video and the screenshots. If it's the case, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on social medias. All the links will be down in the description. And of course, you will be able to download this build on the gallery. My ID is KamilaYtb. So thank you so much for watching, and I wish to you all an amazing day. Bye!
dry. Do you know I'm looking, and I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my